Hey guys, I'm so glad you stopped by. Today on Santa's Workshop, just kidding, I was kind of for one of my friends, Charlotte, who told me in the last video with the suspenders all I needed was a red shirt. And here we are. But I'm working on it, so I can't decide if I want to get rid of it or take it on into next winter, where then I could go play Santa Claus somewhere and it'd be a real beard. I haven't quite decided if that's what I want to do or not, but we'll see. Anyhow, I'm glad you stopped by. Tonight for dinner we are going to do a play on Drunken Noodles, a Thai version. We're gonna make it Italian. One of my friends had sent this to me through Facebook, and it sounded really good. I thought, why not? And it was weird because I actually went into the recipe 3 different times, and all 3 times I saw a different recipe. Same Italian version of Drunken Noodles, but made differently. It was kind of weird, but it was really cool because I got a little bit to take away from all 3 of them. So, that being said, if you're new and this is your first video, welcome. I'm glad you stopped by. I hope you saw this video. Maybe check out some of the others. We got about 500 to choose from. If you are returning or a new subscriber, welcome back and thank you. I appreciate it all so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Comments, always welcome. I respond to all of them in a timely fashion. If you take the time to comment, I'm going to take the time to respond. And it's fun. That way you can ask questions, or just share stories. Do all kinds of stuff in comments and on Facebook and all that good stuff. But at that note, why don't we head on down here to the counter and we will get started on this wonderful little dish. At least I believe it's going to be a wonderful little dish. Hold on for me 1 second. Alright, so we're down here at the counter, and this is going to be a fairly easy dish. Most of the stuff you probably have in your fridge. If you don't, I know you can get it from the store. It's got a lot of basic ingredients. Whew, man, my mouth is just not wanting to function. So, large skillet, and I've got it warming up because it's cast iron. If it wasn't cast iron, I don't think you can warm them up. It doesn't take as long. It's been so long since I've had anything other than a cast iron skillet, I don't know. But I've got it warming up, and I've got a pot of water going for our noodles. That way it's nice and ready to go when it's time to cook our noodles. So, first thing we're going to do, now that I've got my pan warmed up and that was hot, is we're going to go ahead and take 1 pound of Italian sausage. Now, the original recipe, the main recipe I'm following, used a spicy Italian sausage. I'm using a mild. That's something that you make up as you want. This is my favorite pan. Check that out. It spins, but it only does it when it's on this particular oven because it's got a flat surface. Gas doesn't do that with, but this is what they call a spinner if you're newer to cast iron. And a lot of people won't use them. A lot of people don't like them. You know what? I'm okay with it. But I'm going to go ahead and get this Italian sausage browned up and ground, and then we can move on to the next step. Alright, now that we've got our hamburger browned, we're going to go ahead and take our sausage and we're going to take it out of the pan and put it in a bowl. And I'm going to use a slotted spoon to do it. It says to use a slotted spoon, and I'm assuming it's so that way you leave any grease or fats or oils from the sausage down into the pan. Alright, we might have got our sausage into our pan. So the next thing we're going to do is fry up some vegetables, but to do that, cook up some vegetables, starting with onions. But there's a total of 2 tablespoons of oil in here, but we need 1 of them right now. We're going to go ahead and put that in there. We're going to save the other one for later. And it is olive oil. I'd say you could use vegetable oil. You use what oil you like, but the other tablespoon is actually going to go into the dish at the end, so you have that flavor profile in there. So, whatever oil you like to put into your Italian dishes is what you want to put in there. But right here I've got 1 medium-sized onion, thinly sliced, and it's about 1/8, between 1/8 and 1/4, depending on, but no bigger than 1/4 at the biggest. And that's about 200 grams worth. That was 454 grams, 1 pound of sausage. I don't know if I said that or not, but to that, down in here we've got our 1 tablespoon, 15 milliliters of olive oil, and it's already warmed up. I can see it snapping and crackling, and that's just to give us a little more to play with, because I do have a fair amount of oils in there. But we're going to take our 200 grams, one medium onion. I was always hesitant to give gram weights on vegetables like this because it's going to vary on the size of whatever it is you're using. But then I thought to myself, you know what I'm using is 200 grams, one medium sized onion. So we're going to go ahead and get this caramelized to a not dark brown, but a nice caramel brown at any rate. And they're going to be soft, and it's going to take about 6-7 minutes. All right, so we got our onions are nice and brown, light and golden brown and softened up. So the next thing we're going to add to this, I've got, and it's 100 grams of each, and they're all three medium. But I've got a medium red pepper that I've just sliced up into thin slices, just like the onion. And I've got an orange pepper. You can also use a yellow pepper, and then and a green pepper that I did that too. All three. Go ahead and give this a good stir in real quick. And then I've got, and like I said, each of those were 100 grams. But it's going to vary on the size of pepper you end up with. But everything is medium sized for the most part. Maybe borderlining a little large, but for the most part medium. And then I've got 20 grams, 4 fairly good sized cloves of garlic that I minced up, or in this case pressed. I don't ever mince, I pressed. That will get thrown in here, along with a half a teaspoon of salt, a quarter teaspoon of pepper, 2 grams, 1 gram, and then 1 full teaspoon of Italian seasoning that was 1 gram also. So we're going to get all of that in here and give it a good stir, and we're going to let this cook for about 2-3 minutes. Okay, so we've let her cook, and the peppers have softened up for about 3 minutes. Now you want to keep this moving. I mean, not incredibly fast, but that garlic, if it burns, it'll be bitter. I mean, so bitter. So you want to keep it stirring. We're only cooking on like a medium, almost medium low heat now, because we're not looking to burn everything. So now I've got those done. Next things we're going to do is I'm going to add, I've got a half a cup, 120 milliliters of chicken stock. I'm going to throw that in there, and that's going to help just get all that crunchy goodness off the bottom of the pan real quick. And then we are going to follow that up with 1 15-ounce can of diced tomatoes. Now the original recipe called for 4 fresh gem tomatoes, which are an heirloom tomato, and you're not finding that here. But it also said you could use canned tomato. So you can use chopped tomatoes, diced tomatoes, fresh tomato of your choosing, whatever you would like to do with your tomato, for tomato. We're going to put that in here. Now we're just going to let this, one more thing, 1/4 cup of sliced up fresh basil. Now if you don't have fresh basil, you have dried basil, you can use it. Just do half of that, so do like 2 tablespoons worth of dried basil. And we're going to let all this cook and simmer for about 3 or 4 minutes, just to let everybody get to know each other. But while that's going, my water is boiling for my noodles, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cook my noodles. Now, you want to use a wide base noodle, right? And to get that, you can use either I can't remember the name of it, but I'll put it right here. I can see it, but I can't say it. Or a fettuccine noodle. But you want a wide-based one. So I'm going to go ahead. I've got a pound, 16 ounces, 454 grams worth of fettuccine noodles that I'm going to throw in here. And I'm going to let these cook to barely al dente. I want them not crunchy, but just on the al dente side. So on your directions. That way they don't get soggy when we combine the two, because we're going to combine the 2 of these. And while that starts up, we can go ahead and we can take our sausage that we cooked and we can throw that back in the pot. Now we're going to let this finish cooking for 3 or 4 minutes. Can't believe I almost forgot the sausage. But we're going to let this finish cooking for 3 or 4 minutes so that way everybody gets to know each other. And then we're gonna get those cooked, and when I come back we got a couple more steps, easy steps left to do, and we'll be ready to plate and serve. Okay, so we've been letting this cook for about 3 or 4 minutes. Everybody's gotten to know each other, so the next thing we need to do is I've got 1 tablespoon of cornstarch right here, and to this I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons ish of water. It'd be 30 milliliter, and the 1 tablespoon of cornstarch is 10 grams. And I'm gonna go ahead and stir this up. We're gonna make a slurry. Which means there's no chunks, because what can happen is you put cornstarch in a dish, just to put it in there without doing this first, it will make clumps, and you'll have little powder clumps all through your dish. You don't want that. So we're going to put that in there, and then we're going to go ahead and pour this in, and that's going to help thicken this up some, so that way it doesn't soak directly into the noodle. Remember, we're putting this in with the noodles, and that way it doesn't soak up right away, and you have some more sauce. And then the next thing we're going to add is that other tablespoon of oil. We're going to throw it in there. At least I'm assuming that's why we put the cornstarch in, but it doesn't say, so I don't know. It said that. So, but what we're going to do now is we're going to let this cook for another 3 or 4 minutes. By that time our pasta should be done. Alright, so I went ahead and I drained my noodles off after they were cooked to the minimum time, which I think was 12 minutes. And I have cooked my sauce down. So what I did before I dumped the water off my noodles was I went ahead and I grabbed about a cup's worth of that water. So I don't know if you can see in there or not, but how cloudy that is. That's nothing but starch. That's, you know, it's going to help with this. If this is, say, like you've been cooking your noodles and your sauce is really thickened up, you can put that in there with it. Because the more I thought about the reason why you have that starch to begin with, one of the reasons why you have the starch to begin with is much like the pasta water. The starch in that pasta water is what's going to help marry your noodles to your sauce. It helps your sauce to stick. So, and in this case, we want it to stick. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get this stirred up and mixed up real quick. And I'll probably end up adding that pasta water to this to help give it a little more sauciness after I stir it together. And that'll help everything. Alright, we are good to go. Everything has come together. I went ahead and I just went ahead and put that cup of pasta water in here. That way it helps it out in the long run at any rate. But oh my goodness, this smells absolutely delicious. It looks absolutely delicious. So now that we're 2/3 of the way there, right? We've got it tastes good, or it looks good and it smells good, but I have no idea how it tastes. So let's go ahead and get it served up. All right, we got her served up. Here we are, just like such. Looking nice, I think. So now, hopefully we don't melt our face. I mean, I did have that on the lowest setting possible when I put the noodles in there, so that way it shouldn't be wasn't horribly hot. Now, I do recommend, I feel obligated to tell you, let it sit for a couple of minutes, so that way you don't do what I'm probably about to do, and that's melt my face trying to try this. So let's see how it tastes. Oh. That is really, 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 just that, it amazes me how sometimes you can just take the fewest spices and make the biggest impact. Because that's really good. I mean, the fresh garlic, the olive oil, you can taste the peppers and the sausage and the salt and the pepper and the Italian, and the fresh basil is amazing. But now that I've tried it like this, hold on for me 1 second. I've got some grated Parmesan and some parsley that they added it was at the end as an option to top this with. So let me go grab it real quick. I want to try with that too. Okay, so I got some parsley, and you can serve this on the side, or I mean, you can put it, or the Parmesan, Reggiano and the parsley. You can put it on the side, or you can put it on the whole thing at the end if you would like, depending on your company. Some people like cheese, some people don't, but it's a topper. It's an add-in, an extra. But I want it on there, but I want to try it without it first, because that's amazing without it. So I can't imagine it'll be any less with this on it. So let's see real quick. Yeah, that's just amazing. I think I really just needed an excuse to put some more in my mouth, but give this a try. You are not going to be disappointed by any means. That is, and not that hard to make. Maybe a little over 30 minutes total. If you're cooking your noodles while you're cooking your dish, less than 30 minutes. This would make a solid weeknight meal. This is definitely one I want to try again and again. So tomorrow, for dessert, I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do yet, but I think it's going to be another pie. I love pie. Pie is like my favorite thing ever. If I had to pick a dessert, pie would be it, hands down, every time. There's so many things you can do with it. But I'm just not sure though yet. But we'll find out when we get there. If you do try this, let me know down in the comments below, or find us over on Facebook at Mr. Smith's Kitchen Facebook group. Or you can check out my website, mrsmithskitchen.com. We're there. You can ask questions. If you're in Ohio, you can order stuff from me. But yeah, give this a try, hands down. And let me know if you do. I don't think you'll be disappointed with this, or if you have something you do and would like to share, throw it down in the comments. That'd be fun to have a conversation about it, right? So till tomorrow for dessert, I love you. I love you very much, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Tell somebody else that you love them and you love them very much. They may need to hear it. It's gonna make them feel good either way it goes. It's gonna make you feel good to tell them, I guarantee it. And if you make them some of these Italian drunken noodles, I guarantee they're going to know that you care, and it's going to lead to an evening conversation, maybe a good wine or grape juice, depending, beer, tea, whatever your suit is, depending on who you are and where you're at, and have a real good time. There's even enough there, bring the neighbors over, right? Guy walking down the street, maybe call up a couple friends, have them over for dinner, it'd be nice. So, anyhow, till tomorrow for dessert, I love you, and I will see you then. All right? See you later. Bye-bye.